What is going on, guys? So we're hopping back into another video. As you know, last video we replaced the valve cover and valve cover gasket on the car. So today what I'm going to go ahead and be doing is I'm going to go ahead and be installing my crank seal guard, and I'm going to go ahead, I've got the new belt, idler pulley, and the tensioner. I bought all those from FCP Euro, including the crank seal guard. So the brand on the crank seal guard is Vargas Turbo Technologies. I'm sure many of you in the N54 community know this brand. Opinions on the brand, I'm not really going to say a whole lot, but I went ahead and just got it. It was on FCP Euro, so let's go ahead and get that out. So there it is, nothing crazy, just a solid black billet aluminum. Comes with new bolts, and if it'll focus, it also shows a new torque spec on there. So as you guys know, I'm trying to do all of the maintenance on the car before, oh, the camera won't focus. I'm trying to do all the maintenance on the car before I get started on going full bolt on. Obviously I already have the dual cone air intakes and the turbo inlets as well, and charge pipe, but I haven't tuned the car yet. So I've already got my MHD adapter. It's just a matter of time of me getting all the maintenance finished on the car and then installing my downpipes and intercooler. So if you want to know what I went with on that, I'll be posting the video whenever I do that and including all the parts in it. So as for this video, we're just focusing on the crank seal guard and the drive belt and all the pulleys, get those taken care of. On cold starts in the morning, my pulleys do squeak pretty loud. It does go away, but hoping to eliminate that, even though cold weather probably won't last that much longer here in Texas. But it's always good to just go ahead and stay on top of that. I don't know when the belt was changed last or the tensioner, so I'm going to go ahead and get those changed out and then have peace of mind with the new crank seal guard. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and remove the fan. I've seen people do it without removing the fan. This fan is just held in, or at least mine is only held in by one, I believe T25 screw or T27, one of the two. This plug, and then there's also, where is it? You may not be able to see it. It's way down right about there. There's a rubber grommet that's holding on to the lower part of the charge pipe that goes to the intercooler. That also needs to be taken off, and then the fan can come out. I'm probably going to go ahead and move my turbo inlet. If you have a stock turbo inlet, then there's going to be two Torx bits right about there. You'll just have to move those and then pull the inlet a little bit off. And then after that, should be able to get to the, well, you can't see it here, but the crank pulley. And then we can get that removed, and I'll show you guys how to remove that as well, so we can go ahead and get the crank seal guard on there. Now, on this crank seal guard, you do have to make sure it's spaced front to back, and side to side, because you don't want this to be rubbing your crank seal, and you don't want it to be rubbing your crank pulley. So it's got to be spaced just right in between there. Obviously, if you get it just a little bit too far out where it scrapes just a little bit on the crank pulley, many people have just ran theirs to where it'll just grind off over time, just that little bitty sliver of the part. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started removing the fan, and then we'll get started getting this bad boy put on. Okay, so there's the Torx screw right here. That needs to be removed. That is actually a T25 on my car, so I'm going to go ahead and get that removed, and then get the plug out. And then on this, that rubber piece I was talking about earlier down there, that you just have to work off with a screwdriver and lift up at the same time, and then you'll free the whole fan up. That's if your fan is in the way that mine is. I don't know if mine is like this from the factory or not, but just make sure on all of that before you go breaking anything. Okay, so now that I've got the fan out, I'm going to go ahead and grab a T60, insert that there so I can go ahead and release the tension on the belt tensioner and go ahead and remove the belt from all the pulleys. Got the belt off, so now we're going to go ahead and use an E11 Torx bit, inverted Torx bit, or socket to get off the pulley. Okay, so there's our crank pulley, and there are I don't know if I mentioned how many, but there's 6 bolts that are holding it on. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick the camera down in here. right there. That's where we're going to go ahead and be cleaning up. We're going to clean up all of this with alcohol and a rag, and then go ahead and install our crank seal guard. There's a better look of it. We're going to be removing this bolt and this bolt, and that's where we're going to be installing it. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on doing that right now. Okay, so the 2 bolts down there that we're going to take out to put on our crank seal guard are going to be E12 inverted Torx bits or sockets. So I'm going to go ahead and get those taken off so we can go ahead and get our new seal guard on. So here you can see the length difference of the 2 bolts. The black one is the new one from Vargas, and the silver one is a stock one that I just took out, just long enough to account for the difference in thickness that we're adding with the crank seal guard. So the crank pulley's back on. Crank seal guard is already on. So now we're gonna go ahead and get to changing out the pulleys, the tensioner, and the belt. I'm fixing to go run inside and go get those. Bought those from FCP Euro, so I'll be right back. Okay, so here are our parts. Here's our belt tensioner, 1 idler pulley and 2 idler pulleys, and here's our continental belt. So I got all of this in a kit from FCP Euro, and I'll go ahead and leave the link in the description for y'all if y'all want to copy that. Here's the tensioner. So I noticed that they've already went ahead and put a little pin in there. I believe that's to keep the tension off of it, so you can go ahead and install this and put on your belt. And then once you get ready, just stick the T60 in there. I believe that's what that was, and then remove the pin. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started on removing all of these old pulleys. I've already got the old belt off right there. So all I have left to do is to take off our double pulley tensioner, that idler pulley, and I don't know if you can see the one right there underneath it also. So these all have caps on them. Those plastic caps just need to be popped off. So I'm gonna pop those off, remove the bolts, then go ahead and get started on getting all this off. So mine actually looks like it's not that old. It doesn't look like it has 130-something thousand miles on it. It looks like it might have been done in the past. It actually may not even be bad. But I just went ahead and bought the kit just so I'll have peace of mind. I know everything's new on there. You can see that bolt, the pulley. I don't know if it's just because of the plastic covers on there that keep it looking new, but I'm just going to save these just in case I need these. I'm just going to put them back in the boxes and put them in the garage just in case. You never know. Guys, so it does look like the previous owner did replace all of these, because here's the idler pulley, and that says I&A on it. I believe that's just the branding on it. I&A is also the brand that I went with on my kit. So they may have done the whole kit, but I'm still going to go ahead and replace them anyway. Might as well just replace it with new if you already have it. So I guess it's kind of something I didn't need, but it's fine. Okay, so I got the pulleys in, the tensioners in, everything's torqued. I'm fixing to go ahead and put the belt on. If you're doing this at home and this is the first time yours have ever been done, if it's the first time your belt's ever been done, I'm going to go ahead and throw up a picture right now of the new belt diagram. The N54 belts were rerouted. They changed the route of the belts due to the subframe issue, which could cause the belt to shred. The new way of putting it on this way ensures, or at least helps, that you won't have the belt contact the subframe. God, I can't talk. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get the belt on right now and then start the car, or put the fan in and start the car. Okay, so I've got everything back together minus the fan. So that's where I'm going to go ahead and end it. All I got to do left is start the car. I mean, nothing else is going to change. But next video, we're going to be doing the spark plugs and might even go full bolt on. I don't know yet, but that's an upcoming video. I've already got the parts, but for sure spark plugs are going to be getting done next video. And yeah, so I will catch you guys in the next one. I'm out.